Hi everyone, this is Rowan Smith from the Mortgage Center. I've been taking several calls on options to purchase, vendor takebacks. It's something that keeps coming up time and again, so I wanted to address what an option to purchase is today. An option to purchase is a registered right for someone to buy a property that's registered on title. So for example, let's just say for simplicity's sake that I own my own home, clear title. I've got no mortgage. And my neighbor wants to try to buy my unit, doesn't have the money right now, is perhaps in between jobs, or there's some other complicating factor that he doesn't want to transfer it right now into his name. He may not have the money for closing costs, or the bank won't finance him due to bankruptcy issues right now, and he needs a couple years to reestablish his credit. I can grant him an option to purchase the property. So what that would mean is I would take, say, $25,000 in exchange for the right to buy the property at $500,000. So that would be the price, be guaranteed that price would be $500,000. That's what my option is. And we would set an expiry date on it, say 5 years time. So within the next 5 years, he can buy that property for 500 grand. And in exchange for that right, he's given up that $25,000. Now, the way that we see these things kind of come up, someone comes to us and they want to sell their property, but there's an option to purchase registered. So these options get actually put on title. I couldn't sell my property once the option is on there. The only way to do that would be to have him with the option sign off on it and allow me to purchase the property, which he wouldn't do unless, of course, I gave him back his $25,000 or whatever he wanted. One of the downsides to an option to purchase is that the property is tied up and held for that period of time. So if you've got, say, 5 years on your option to purchase, I, as the current owner, who have that now registered in your favor to purchase the property, can't sell it until that expires or until you execute that option to purchase. So it's just another way to tie up property. I've seen a lot of it recently with developers where they're trying to do a land assembly and maybe assemble several hundred acres in an area for an industrial complex. And what they'll do is offer options to purchase for considerable sums to a lot of the landowners all around them. And the plan, of course, is that once they've got the options on all of this land, then they'll step up, they'll bring the financing, they'll bring their cash, they'll buy them all out at one point. But I have seen it in personal arrangements too, where one person has a debt to another and wants to give them the property, but maybe that person can't afford to buy the property, or there's some mitigating factor. So if you need any information on options to purchase, asking a lawyer or notary is the best way to go. They're the ones that actually register it. When we brokers aren't really involved in it, except when the person finally decides to execute it and perhaps needs a mortgage at that time. But we do see them, and they can create some complications. So if you're thinking of executing on an option to purchase, or if you're thinking of trying to offer an option on your property in the hopes of maybe getting some money, speak to me first, find out the risks, and we can put you in touch with a lawyer who can give you a legal opinion and express it as well. For the Mortgage Center, I'm Rowan Smith.